Welcome back to my channel, and thank you guys so much for joining me in today's video. So today I had a lot of house chores to complete, and one of it being sorting out my cupboard. So I have a whole lot of clothes sitting on my bed at the moment, and I decided let me film a girl chat video while I fold my clothes and sort my cupboard out. So hope you girls enjoy this girl chat kind of session with me, and yeah, if you do like this kind of videos, please let me know in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. So let's jump straight into today's. Well, I have to say that I have not been consistent on my personal channel, and you know what, I always have some kind of excuse, and I always share with you girls that I'm either busy. I do apologize for that. The thing is, there's moments where I'm so excited to share so much, and I always have so much to give, especially for this channel, and I feel like I've been changing a lot recently, especially over the past 2 years, I think. After getting married, what can I say, it was such a huge difference to my life. I know I've been with Wes, my husband, for 9 years prior to us getting married, so I already knew exactly how it was to be with him and all of that. But once we got married, so many things changed. We started living together, and it was just a whole new ball game. I'm referring to finance. So our financial mindset had to completely change. You know, when you're dating somebody, you still living with your parents, or that was in our case. So I was still living with my parents, and he was still at his dad's house and stuff. So when we made the decision to move out on our own, and yeah, to basically start on our own, like from scratch, we moved into a rental. And the first year, it was so nice to be alone together and have that moment which we were looking forward to, and then the huge change happened where we had to realize, okay, now we have so much of things to take care of financially. It's not just all fun and games when you get married, and that was like a huge, that was huge for us, because we didn't realize how much it was going to be and what was the differences that was going to take place after we got married. And we also made time to have fun and still enjoy each other whilst trying to provide for this little home that we created. We really depended on God, because we had months where we literally didn't know how we were going to pay our rent, and yeah, it was a huge adjustment, especially me coming from a place where everything was taken care of and I didn't have to stress about finance because my parents took care of everything. Now actually being someone who has to think about these kinds of things, but I'm so grateful that I had the most amazing partner, which is Wes, who was really understanding, and he knew how to motivate me and my business. And I think it's quite important to realize that when you're getting into a marriage, finance is one of the most important parts of a marriage, because it's how you guys live and do everything that you want to do together, and all of that heaviness cannot be just placed on one person. I had my moments where I felt like it was too much, and I had my moments, most of my moments were great with God. He put me in the situation for a reason, and I am in my growing process. So I had to really indulge and take in every moment that came along, because if you don't allow yourself to grow in that situation, or whatever situation you are in, what is the point of being and going through that? First year of marriage was a bit difficult for finance. Second year, it was a little bit more softer, because that's when we moved to my mom and dad's place, and they were so kind enough to let us just crash with them until we figure out what we're going to do, because you must realize that at that time when we just got married, Wes got a new job, and the location was quite far from our home, so we had to move closer to his job, and this year has taught me much. God has taught me much. I don't know your personal story, and all I can share is what my experiences are. Some have it easier in the finance department, others not so easy, and then some have it easy with other parts in their marriage or in their lives. During my first and second year of marriage, I discovered a lot about myself that I had no idea about. I didn't realize that there's so many things that marriage does that changes you as a person. Like, you're never going to get married and stay the person that you was before you got married. You're always going to change. Like, it's 100%. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, you are definitely going to change. Like, it really depends on if you want to change in a good way or a bad way. And I feel like my partner and I have changed so much, and it wasn't in a negative way, it was in the most beautiful way, because from the time we started planning to get married, we basically dedicated our lives to God, and ever since, we're not going to say it's easy, and we still trusting God for great things. There's personal things that we want, so it definitely is a challenge when you are trying to plan out your future and you have a vision of exactly what you want to be and what you want to do in 5 years, and your present is not anywhere near where you want to be. So it can be challenging, but the blessing that comes with it is the fact that God has his plans for you. And yeah, it might be nice to map out exactly where you want to be or what you want to do right now, but something that I've learned is that the most beautiful experiences in your life, if you go back and do a track record of all the best times of your life and all the best memories that you've ever had, it's always things that you'd never prepared for, or it's always things that just happened to fall upon your lap without you planning for it. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. So I was listening to this single and secure chat that a few pastors and a few people had at their church. So I was listening to it this morning on YouTube, and Jason Kennedy, I don't know if all of you are familiar with him, something that he said, and it was so funny to me because I relate to this so much. So he was working in Hollywood at the time, and he was basically just over 30, and he was looking for his partner, and he thought he was living in LA and he's going to get somebody who is doing the same thing as him, somebody in the pop culture industry. And yeah, he was just focusing on that. How is he going to get this partner? He waited and waited, and like it was so hard for him to get like a partner that he wanted and that loved God and the same values and shared the same values that he shared. And then he said that he was at work one day and he came across an article that he was really invested in. He was trying to track like the person who was following the story, and he couldn't for months, and that's how he actually met his soon-to-be wife, which is so hilarious because he says he didn't care about looking for a girl at the time, or he just was solely invested in this certain story. And the lady that was actually doing the story or like following the story was his future wife, which he had no idea about. And fast forward, he ended up falling in love with her while they were both trailing the same story, and that's how he fell in love with her. And he went on to share that at that moment in time, he was not looking for a partner, and he was not looking for he was not trailing the story because he knew that his wife is there. No, he was purely invested in a story. From that situation, he found his wife. And a lot of us can relate to this because sometimes we meet friends or we have beautiful memories over something that was not intended for a beautiful memory. It was actually for something else, and then your path crossed and you ended up with this whole new person that is now in your life, or you end up having the most fun you've ever had, but you never expected it to happen on that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kind of situations I feel like is so beautiful because you're not planning it. It's all about God, and it's all about what God has in store for you. That is why I love journal time. Journal time is so important because you really sit back, you have proper thinking, strategic thinking about like your life, where you've come from, where you're heading, some of the funny things that you'd never noticed about yourself. That's where God starts to talk to you and shares the most funniest parts about your life that you actually didn't realize happened to you. So yeah, that's that. I don't know how I got to the point of this, but I basically wanted to share with you that like experiences are meant to happen in God's ways. I am literally going through the same exact situation. I'm trying to figure out what do I think is important to me at this moment in my life. What is important to me? What is my purpose? What is my next step? And I think we all get stuck with that question, like, what is my next step? What's my next thing? And if you don't really know, how are you going to plan? And that's the funny thing, is because we are such planners as people. We want to plan everything. We want to plan our lives, we want to plan our future, we want to plan our meals, we want to plan our vacations. We just want to plan. And here's the thing, God is the ultimate planner. And you might think, okay, yeah, but you need to have goals and this and that, and you're always talking about goals and writing down your visions and whatnot. Yes, good and well, but it's good to have a solid mind and figure out like what you want to do, have goals, have aspirations and all of that. It's good, write it down, and God puts these desires on the inside of you, so that's how you kind of know how to navigate and what you really want from your future. But what does it mean when you are somebody who holds onto things so tightly that you can't let your hands loose and let it go? Are you somebody who's on, which end are you on? Are you somebody who holds on to things so tightly, and if God says, okay, you can let go now, you still don't want to let go? Are you that kind of person, or are you somebody who's so free to let everything go? We have to find that balance in between. And when it's time where God says, I've given you the vision, but I didn't ask you to plan, how do we know how to differentiate between the two? Like, I know I'm somebody who plans everything. I am always planning. I'm literally planning my next vacation. Like, that's what a planner I am. I'm always planning. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I've been stuck in a situation and in this rut where I felt like I needed to plan, but all the plans that I had for myself and for Wes were always failing. I'm trying to plan for my business, I'm trying to plan for our businesses, I'm trying to plan for our future, our marriage, our future kids. I'm trying to plan everything, and it became exhausting at one point. And that is why it's so important to let God plan. Because when you try to plan and when you try to do everything and run everything, you get exhausted. And that means you took God's place in your life. You took the place of God, and now you're trying to fix everything. When God is like, all I want you to do is just have that desire. And when it's time, I will let things happen like this. You don't have to do any stressing or planning. And I'm a fine one to talk, like literally I am a fine one to talk, because it's hard. It is really hard to let go. But the reason why I am sharing this with you is because this is what I had to do. And my breakthrough, honestly, I know it's coming, because last night I just wept in the presence of God. It was just me and God. I knelt down and I was like, God, what do I do? What do I do? How do I get out of this rut? How do I get out of this place of feeling like I have so much things to do, but I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to start it. And I'm like, I'm starting something and one thing is falling apart, one thing is thriving, and then if I focus here too much, then this one is, it was just too much. This is the point where I realized that God doesn't want me to do anything but to be relying on Him. I have to rely on Him day and night, daily. Every day I wake up, every moment, every second of the day, I have to rely on Him. And when I think I can do it all on my own, it means that I excluded Him from my thoughts, from my life, and I'm like, okay, God, you sit there, I'll sort this out. Thanks for giving me the desire, but from this point onwards, I'm excited and I am gonna sort everything out. But that's really a complete opposite of what God wants us to do, and it's difficult for us who want to hold onto our lives and don't want that change. Change is hard, change is difficult, it comes and it really switches up things in your life, and it can really show you who you really are, because some of the worst emotions come out, and then you end up looking at yourself in the mirror like, who are you? Like, this is not who you are. So to avoid all of that misery and that pain and that, those controlling ways that we do have, allow God to just sit with you, sit with God. Stop planning for a moment. Stop planning, stop overemphasizing on what you want to have, and start realizing what you have. And that is a huge change. It is a huge changing point in your life. It's a huge aha moment, because we're so ready to just dive into the future that we forget about really looking around and seeing the prayers that now is tangible before you, things that you prayed about, you asked God for, now running around in your living room, or the prayers that you've really cried about and now you're laughing, and you, at one point in your life, you thought you'd never laugh again, or you was really in a dark situation, and it's literally like it's gone, and it happened so suddenly that you didn't even think about the fact that God changed your entire life around, and you didn't even think or stop to be grateful that this God did that for you. So if you feel like you're stuck and you are in a place where you've prayed about your future and you can't find yourself, really figuring out what you need to do for your next steps, have you ever thought about just taking a pause and looking at where you've come and how far God has brought you and where He's taking you? It's just amazing what God has done and who He is, and just living in His purpose and in His plan. It really makes us think, what did we ever do to deserve this kind of God and this loving Father? Because honestly, we can do the worst thing ever, and He's still there with open arms. And even when you come to the realization of like, oh yeah, I have been doing all of this on my own, and I haven't been being as open or really allowing God to take over my life and allowing God to be a part of my decisions, and I'm so sorry, and you feel this kind of heaviness. And the thing is, you don't have to feel that heaviness, because in an instant He's able to cover you again, in an instant. And I experienced this. The only reason I'm even telling you this, guys, is because I experienced it. I went through this last night. I had my time where I was like, God, I am so sorry that I forgot what you've done. I forgot who you are in my life. I forgot all of the things that I have prayed about and I've been through with you, and I promised that I'd never go back and never doubt you. And here I am, like, doubting you for months on end, and you still show up. You still love me this much to change me in an instant. And all it takes is that one moment. And I love that song so much. I Came For You. It was the first song Wes and I sang on our YouTube channel, and the reason why we sang that and the reason why we loved it so much is because the words is so prophetic and it's so beautiful. And the words, the writer says, all it takes is one moment and one touch from Him. And that's literally, that's all you have to worry about. That's all you need right now. If you're in a place where you are so heavy, you don't know how to let go and just let God, all it takes is one moment, just one moment. You don't have to work yourself up or do a whole lot of things to come and say, okay, God, here's my sins before you. I did all of this hard work. You don't have to do any of that. He wants you as you are, and He'll change you. You don't stay as you are. You come as you are into His courts, into his presence, and in his presence is where you are made, is where you can be undone, is where you don't have to cover up. You are who you are, and he comes in and he cleans you out and purifies you, and he makes you wholesome and pure, and he really does an amazing work inside of us. And you know, we all have our challenges, we all go through, we all have a past, we all have sin. Everybody has their own perspective on life, and in God's presence all of that doesn't matter. God just wants us to be honest with ourselves, to be honest with him, to be pure, to be holy. And the only way we can get to that point is to be truly humble in his presence. And what is humble? What is humility? It's the characteristic of Christ. It's the character that you have that is so willing to be brought to nothing in God's presence. I don't know if you guys know the famous line that they always say. I'm always watching American television, so they always say, that guy definitely had a slice of humble pie, or he needs a slice of humble pie. And that quote or that analogy is so funny to me, because like, you think of pie is tasty, but a slice of humble pie means that you really got tested in your life, and God really gave you something to be humble about, you know, which means that from your high lofty thinking and from your so-called famous bougie persona, you now brought to a place where, wow, nothing, I don't deserve anything. And not in a way where you don't think you're deserving of it. Now God has opened up your knowledge to such a place where you understand, hey, like, this is God, and I am here to do his work. I understand who I am, I know who I am, and all I want to do is just be a servant of the living God. When you come to that place, and we all are striving to come to that place, you know, but when you come to that place of that humility and knowing that God is in control of you and your life, and he has the best for you, that is what true satisfaction is. Yeah, so sorry about the sermon, guys. I even stopped folding my clothes, but yeah, I just wanted to share that portion with you. I know we can talk about every kind of thing on this platform, and I can share like my personal stories and, you know, get all girly up in here, but truly, if I could give you anything, and I truly want to give you something that you can receive from this video and apply to your life, and you can leave this video as a changed person, a changed human being in the best way possible, then I'd rather have that than have like a normal girl chat. But we'll still get into the girl chat. But if anything, I want for you guys, and if anything God has been showing me this past year or so, is that my voice was definitely not supposed to be used just for fashion or makeup or any other kind of natural purpose. My voice was really being trained from a young age to inspire, to help, and to, you know, just give that goodness to somebody else. I know I needed it the most when I'm going through my hard days, and I know how encouraging it really is. So to be that to somebody else really is rewarding for me as well. Now is the time that you let God do what he needs to do with you. It might not seem like you in the perfect space right now, and your dreams are not coming in the right space, but God knows the best. He knows why he's holding you back, and he knows why you have to go through this certain road, because he's building you and he's teaching you, and you just need to obey him and live your best life. Just enjoy him, enjoy his goodness, and yeah, everything that you dreamed about and everything that you've been praying about, it's yours. Just know it's yours, and timing is very important. Anything I want to leave you with is to stay pure, stay holy, and leave your dreams to God. Stop holding on so tight. Let go. Let your hands free. Let God take over. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Also, outfit of the day, I'm wearing this. I love this top so much because, or these kinds of tops, it's so cute. Like you can just go into your tights, and I'm just wearing like a short tights, a black high waist, and a pull top to go over. And yeah, that's my look for today. And now I'm going to finish up the clothes and go and watch a episode of Once Upon a Time. It's super hot, like summer is in, guys. Hope you all are refreshed and feeling cool and all of that. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for coming and joining today's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I love to chat with you there. And follow me on all my social media handles. And if you want to get your makeup done by me, then contact me and we will make it happen. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.